You muted us. Hey everyone, and welcome to this live stream where for some reason our video decided to crash right before we went live. So anyway, obviously there must have been some glitch in the warp or universe, and anyway, we are here to talk about the points.
I think it was the hive mind. I think they're upset.
Something's upset. Maybe it's the webway gates all kicking off, and anyway. So guys, this is absolutely huge, and again, Games Workshop, you've smashed this one out the park. We've wanted it for so long, and we've now finally got it. Digital points updates.
Wow.
So this is absolutely fantastic, and you can check out Warhammer Community for the link, and yeah, to see where all your points are basically coming from, essentially.
Yeah, start printing it off, guys.
Yeah.
Tuck it in the back of your codex.
Yeah.
Where the points are.
Yeah.
Saves you scribbling over everything.
Yeah.
I love it.
So apparently some points came out on an app earlier. And we're going to go over, basically, in this video, the biggest winners, the biggest losers, and we take that with a pinch of salt, but more importantly, Sebastian, I need my hammer. A few things are getting the nerf hammer today.
This is the nerf hammer.
Yeah, some things are going to be getting a good nerf hammering. And other things are going to be getting a huge buff or support. Yeah. And the reason why this happens, if you're wondering, is so that we can keep the game as balanced as we possibly can.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of rules in the game. There's a lot of different codexes, stratagems, you name it, different missions. And often we can end up with certain units, Storm Surge, name no names, can get a little bit too efficient.
Too efficient. I mean, we weren't seeing loads of them, but when you look at the stats, so you compare it to other stuff,
yeah,
it was way too cheap.
Yeah. Now, if you have a question for us, feel free to super chat us in. It's a fantastic way to support us here at VT. And obviously, we're going to do our usual live stream tonight at 7 o'clock as well, where we'll be doing your
Chaos Knights
versus
the Grey Knights.
Cool. Some sort of Knights versus Knights.
Using the new Nephilim stuff, so you'll see how that checks out.
Yeah.
And of course, the new points updates as well. Awesome.
So we've got loads of cool stuff to show you tonight in tonight's game. Okay, now we've got a bit of a display of armies here. We've got our thoughts. We're also going to tell you what we feel like this means in terms of the competitive side, so tournament lists, all the rest of it. How is it going to be impacted? Now, I think generally for many armies, what's typically happening is if it's an extremely good army, winning, a good percentage of games, you can probably expect a few points increases here or there on the most efficient and mostly taken units.
Yes.
Because what we want is fantastic balance in a codex. And what that means is good, when we say internal balance, you've got internal balance from data sheets where all the data sheets look really good. You think, oh, none of it's amazing, none of it's terrible. That's actually good balance. It means it's exciting to keep trying out new different things. Internal balance in terms of rules, which might mean, oh, well, that craftboard looks good, but oh, that craftboard looks good too, and that craftboard also looks quite good. I don't know which one to take. And then you've got points balance. So points internal balance, and then you've obviously got points balance across all the game as well.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, just because one model's got, let's say, a jump pack in one army doesn't necessarily mean it exactly should be the exact same as another one in another army, because the buffs, the stratagems, everything else, all the synergies might be different. So sometimes a unit in one book on paper might be exactly the same as another one, but in one book it might be more or less expensive than another because of all the other supporting buffs and auras and stratagems that can really ramp it all up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Michael, let's start talking rubbish and let's start getting into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
Let's go through each of these, okay, and we're going to be going over essentially some of the biggest changes in the game.
Okay.
All right. So where do you want to start first, Michael? I'm going to bring it up on my phone so we've got a good indication.
Okay.
We've got the new rules, we've got the old ones, and then we've got the other codexes that were released in between the two books from coming out as well.
Well, do we want to go in order, but sort of briefly cover any that haven't had many changes?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So the very start, everybody's favourite, the Space Marines.
Not everyone's favourites, but some people's.
Everybody's favourite, the Space Marines. There's not a lot of changes here.
No.
It's as a Space Marine player myself, a little bit upsetting, but I'm so glad to see that everything else has been affected, you know.
Now, that's one thing to remember. Just because your army hasn't changed doesn't mean it hasn't got better.
Yeah.
The fact that some armies have taken the nerf hammer means that your army's just got a little bit stronger.
Yep.
And against other armies, that might get a little bit of a buff. Well, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows just yet? You have to try that one out for the table. So Space Marines, anything gone up in points?
No.
Nothing's gone up in Space Marines.
Not surprising. Nothing's gone up.
No.
A few things have gone down. It's
Okay.
quite nice. So we've got a couple of the land speeder types. Outriders are down 5 points a model, which I think is quite interesting.
Assault Marines?
Assault Marines now do not have to pay for their jump pack. So they're down 2 points a model, 3 points a model.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tasty. We've got the Primaris tanks, the big Primaris tanks, the Gladiators. They're all down 15 points each.
Yeah.
I actually quite like some of these.
Yeah.
So I think they certainly see some play, down that many points.
And we're not seeing them on the tabletop at the minute, so just a little bit of reduction to help encourage seeing these on the table would be awesome. Is my favourite Space Marine tank cheaper now?
The Razorback.
No, not that one.
Yes, Steve. The Razorback. The Bile Predator.
No. Yes.
Yes, the
No.
Bile Predator is.
We'll come on to Blood Angels. The Land Raider.
The Land Raider is cheaper, guys. It's gone down again.
The dream is alive. Now, obviously, we'd love to hear your feedback throughout this, so do comment in the chat or in the comment below. What are your biggest highs and lows of this?
Yeah.
So, anything else to note about Space Marines before we go over to some questions?
Down 20 points on the Land Raiders. And then a lot of the name characters have seen some reductions as well, from 10 to 15 points. Big one, Guilliman, our converted beautiful emperor himself, has gone down 80 points.
Sorry?
He's gone down 80 points to 300.
Wow.
300 points.
So, Guilliman, big winner for the Space Marines.
Big winner.
Big, probably the biggest winner for, obviously, Ultramarine players only. But what a great opportunity. Any super chats come in, Nicole, or any questions from the chat from us at the moment while we're going through Space Marines?
Okay, so we don't have any super chats at the moment. Someone did ask, do they need to super chat to get an answer to their question? Not necessarily, but it does obviously help support the channel, and it does help your question stand out so that we don't miss it.
Yeah.
We also had some questions about, is the app updated with the new scores?
I believe so.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. Some mistakes are in there, though.
There's one thing I think Jake spotted. Paragon war suits are not 0 points, okay?
No, we can confirm.
They're not 0 points.
Blood Angels are a bit cheaper now. Will they shine in the new meta?
What do you mean? What do you mean shine in the new meta? They always shine. They're gold. No, absolutely. We'll go on to Blood Angels shortly.
But other than that, it's just people commenting about how the points have changed their specific faction. So we'll let you guys continue on, and then we'll stop in a bit for some more questions.
Yeah. And obviously we've got huge changes. We've just recorded a members video about our thoughts on the new Nephilim mission pack. That's going to be in a members content Friday. So we go over, I think it's like a 30-minute deep dive review and analysis of how the meta is going to evolve and what you need to be taking away from that if you are obviously going to be looking at using this GT pack in the future. Yeah. So by becoming a member for $2.99 is a great way to watch that video, plus all the other content we've got as well. Yeah. Okay, so next up, what are we at?
Well, we've got the supplements, Space Marine supplements.
Yeah.
Now, everybody hates them. You love them. The Blood Angels. We've got some points reductions. Did you do this one yourself? These ones, the Blood Angels?
No, actually. How dare you? But they just happen to have gone a bit cheaper. All right.
So the Death Company.
They're way too expensive.
They're down 2 points each. Okay.
Who takes them?
So 18 points. This is really interesting because we talk about it in the Nephilim video.
Yeah.
But there's that Fall on Fury stratagem, and it's almost like some of these kind of tie in a little bit to the fact you have to spend CP to make them work. Yeah. Which is quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Death Company Intercessors also down 2 each. I'd like to see you take some of those, Steve. Next BAO, Death Company Intercessors.
Sometimes there's just a bridge too far, Michael. All right.
Sanguinary Guard.
Down 2.
Down 2 points, 30 points a model.
Now, that pretty much, I believe, was their points cost when their original codex came out.
Yeah.
Now, when they went up in points was because they were, like, at the time, Blood Angels dropped in, like, a December, and then there was, like, a points update in January. Yeah. They were a bit too efficient at that point in time. Yeah. Obviously, since then, so them going down a couple of points back to their base costs, I think, from their codex is pretty viable, I think. I believe a character went down. Is it Mephiston went down? No?
Astrath went down 10.
Astrath, my boy, obviously, he went down. He was a bit...
I mean, he's fantastic, to be fair.
He's awesome.
The Bile Predator, of course, went down 10.
There's hope. The dream's still alive. Yeah.
And the Lost upgrades, I think, is that Death Company? Giving them Death Company, that's gone down 5 points each for those upgrades.
Yeah. So, in terms of how does this change my list, let's take my BAO list, for example. I've got 21 Sanguinary Guard. Okay. So that's a saving of
42 points.
42 points. I've got then 5 Assault Marines and 5 Death Company. Okay. So that's 2 points there. Yep. So per model, so that's a 10.
Another 20, right?
Yeah, so another 20 points.
So 62 points.
62 points.
Yeah, cool.
And sorry, I've got 1 more Assault Marine, so 64 points.
64 points.
So it allows me to basically take 2 more Sanguinary Guard.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
It's all right. It's not bad.
Yeah.
You know, so like a subtle adjustment, but nothing like completely crazy. Like me having 2 extra Sanguinary Guard would not have changed the result in any of my games, which is fine. That's what we want balance to be. Little edging kind of elements, not just complete overhaul, especially with a faction that's kind of okay. Yeah. Yeah. Armor of Contempt certainly helps, but now with obviously new missions, new secondaries and everything, you know, it's wide open. Yeah,
it's nice. A whole new world.
So I'm happy as a Blood Angel player. I'm fantastic about that.
Cool. Well, the other Angels, the Dark ones, they're probably pretty happy as well. There aren't any points increases to these. Obviously, they got hit a little bit by some of the Nephilim stuff, losing some secondaries. Azrael's down 10.
And he's big because he gives you CPs.
Yes, I think you're probably going to take Azrael now, is my take there. Ezekiel's gone down 10 as well. A lot of people are taking them anyway. Yeah. Deathwing Knights are down 4 points per model.
We didn't see many of those because obviously it was mainly just regular Terminators. Yeah. And obviously because they've got the shields, they don't get the benefits of Armor of Contempt anyway. So them coming down in points, fair enough. Dark
Shroud and the Vengeance have gone down 10. Yeah. And then the Initiation rights have all gone down 5 points as well.
We did forget to mention that Pharos Manus is down 15 points.
Yes. Ironfather Pharos. The named characters for the Space Marines and the supplements, they've gone down 15. A lot of them, Lysander, Pedro, Cantor and Garadon have gone down 10.
And the Imperial Fist characters are down. No changes on Black Templars though?
No, none at all.
No change. So if you're a Black Templar player, be happy, your army is doing okay.
Yeah. And then Space Wolves, lots of named characters gone down 10.
And then equivalent adjustments. So we saw the Razorback go down, obviously. Their equivalent of Assault Marines have also had the same adjustments. Yeah. So just a couple of little tweaks there. Yeah. Again, nothing massively groundbreaking in terms of changing on the Space Wolf front.
Yeah, their Flyers have gone, their Special one's gone down 30. The Storm Raven's gone down 30 as well.
Now, this took me and Michael ages to go through, as you can probably imagine. Every single item, we may have missed one here or two, but we tried our best. I was like a commentator on a horse race show, and we've got a number of 72 and it's 33, and anyway, we went through it all, and hopefully we can give you a good insight of maybe some things that you may have missed.
Yeah, cool. We may have missed a couple of like weapon options, but they're not really the ones you see very often anyway.
Sure.
Death Watch, Kill Team Cassius went down a bit. The Kill Team Specialisms went down 5 points each. That's pretty big for Death Watch players, especially running the Army of Renown.
Yeah, so they're the little things that you take to give your army like a unique, or that unit a unique flavour, so that's gone down. And actually we'll see that trend a lot throughout this book. A lot of those pointed upgrades, because now obviously the requisition of stratagems, warlord traits and relics are more valuable now, because you're going to have fewer starting. A lot of these like paid upgrades are now cheaper. Which because they're kind of like a relic or a warlord trait anyway. So yes, not as many CPs, but points have come down. So it's a good way of, creating a little bit of balance there.
Yeah, it's really nice. Most of these paid upgrades have gone down about 5 points each as we go through. Yeah, as we'll see. Grey Knights, not really any changes here except to the Land Raiders, of course, and some ships. The paid upgrades, cheaper by 5 points each.
Every single one?
Every single one.
5 points down.
5
So if
points
you're a Grey Knight player, you've probably got 5 points in the pocket to play with if you were taking an upgrade before.
Yeah. And you might consider now taking one of them that you didn't before because they're cheaper.
Or consider taking a Land Raider.
Or Storm Raven.
If you want to be a real hero. Yeah. Any questions from the chat, Nicole?
So we've got in very capital letters from Hugh Titchener, explain why Marine troops didn't go down, Mr. Box. I demand it.
Well,
did Hugh demand it or super chat it?
Just demanded it, I'm afraid. So.
Well, Hugh, get your money, get your hand in your pocket. It's all right. No, I'm joking. Why didn't they go down? Why do they need to? They've got Armour of Contempt. That's a buff enough.
Yeah.
I think they're fine.
I think the thing is we need to remember that someone in the book has to be the go-to, the grounding level, and Space Marines kind of are that. You might compare other factions to Marines in terms of going up and down.
Yeah.
Also, you've got to remember that Marines have a lot riding on them. You change the points on one of their units and it affects 20 supplements.
Yeah.
So you've got to remember it's quite difficult to make these changes, especially to Marines.
Yeah.
And I think they're all right where they are.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think they've, when I look at the troops in particular, they're fine, for what they are. You look at their weapon profile and it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and...
I'd argue Incursors and Infiltrators could go up and people would still take them.
Yeah, I would.
I think they're fantastic.
The role that they play on the table is great. I mean, and also, you know, the defensive capabilities that they have, like the pop smoke or whatever, transhuman. Yes, those stratagems might not use as much, but I still think they're actually okay for what they do.
Yeah.
They're kind of like our baseline.
Yeah.
Like Michael said, I think that's a good way of looking at it. They're our baseline troop. Yeah.
Well, onto the Sisters of Battle.
Yep.
Power armor again, armor of contempt. The Triumph has gone down 20. There's no other changes in the HQ section, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because we've seen a lot of reductions in the big models, like the very expensive ones like Guilliman. More than Val has stayed at 280.
I think Val is fine because what a force multiplier she is.
She's amazing.
Everybody still takes her anyway. It's not like nobody was putting her on the table.
No.
So I think she is fine in that situation there.
Yeah, agreed. Celestians down a point each. I didn't really see them very much.
Celestians, which are the elite slot, not Celestine.
Yeah, not Celestine. And then you got the Sacroisant, who are down 2 points each.
Which I believe is back to their Codex point cost.
And they don't get Armour of Contempt, so that makes sense.
And also Bodyguard is nowhere near as efficient as it used to be.
Yeah. Going on, Seraphim down 2 per point, 2 per model. Zephyrim down 2 per model. I'm not sure.
I think that
I'm
might
behind
be,
this one.
That might be back to their
might be
Codex.
Yeah.
Again, a great unit.
They're absolutely fantastic unit, Zephyrim.
Yeah.
And it's nice because a lot of people take Seraphim for that retrieved Nachmund or now Nephilim data.
Yeah.
So having some points back on that's nice. Castigator, minus 15. A lot of the power armored tanks and vehicles have gone down in points.
Yeah.
So if you've got one of those, that's very nice. Exorcist down 10. Pennant Engines down 5 each.
Yeah.
Immolator down 10 as well. Now, the pointed upgrades for Sisters have not changed. They've not changed. A lot of the other ones have, Sisters no.
They are quite powerful though, and I still think they're very worth taking anyway.
Yeah.
So in short, Sisters, we're looking at cheaper infantry and cheaper vehicles.
Yeah.
Great. Like with the Primaris vehicles, we saw many of them come down. Yeah. It's like fast attack and the heavy support choices have just come down a little bit, because when you do look at a lot of the armies on the table, they're very troop and elite focused.
Yeah.
That really seems to be a trend with maybe a couple of outlying armies. So it's nice to see some of these other reductions in those other categories become more viable, because obviously now you probably won't be taking, Vanguard and a battalion or a battalion and a patrol. You are going to be looking at much more of a just, basic battalion or patrol detachment. So it's nice to be able to take some cheaper units to fill those slots.
Yeah. Custodes. Oh.
You're on, Nicole.
Yeah, just before we move on, I just wanted to, we do have a super chat.
Awesome.
From J. Brian Anderson.
What
Thank
hero?
you.
And it's 300 NTD, make Knights great again.
Nice.
Or make Knights great.
Make Knights great again. Well, I've got some, I guess it's not really sad news.
No.
But obviously Knights and Chaos Knights were released quite recently.
Yeah.
Their points have not changed. However, I will say that whilst they do suffer from the CP changes from Nephilim in terms of buffing single models, my attitude is that if you'd pay for that buff anyway with a stratagem, do it anyway. But otherwise, secondary options are opened up now.
So better secondary options, and you'll find out soon when we go to some of our biggest losers that maybe some of the lethality has been taken out of the game. So actually your knights will stay alive a little bit longer. So that's not a bad thing as well. But Brian, heroes always, yeah.
We've also just had another one from Dr. Rhino. Paragon Warsuit Viability. Keep up the awesome work, guys. Also, Steve, I'm getting my hashtag fit for 40k workout in at the moment.
What a legend, yeah. I've got some big news about Fit for 40k.
Oh.
I've been looking at getting vests for Fit for 40k.
Big news.
Nice.
Big news, guys. Big news. So obviously, if you wanna get in with the fitness stuff, then just follow the hashtag. So go on Instagram and just search for the hashtag Fit for 40k and follow it, and you'll see so many people getting amongst it in our community that we started to derive and develop for people that want to just get a little bit healthier. And there might be something coming very soon about that. So anyway, I want to help people more, and I'm thinking of ways of how I can combine my previous, I suppose, like profession as a online nutrition coach to helping many just improve their fitness and well-being as well. So that's all coming soon. So Paragon Warsuits viability, obviously their points haven't gone down.
Nope. They're not zero, guys.
No.
Happy's wrong.
Art viability, I think I actually ran a unit when the Codex came out at a tournament.
I remember, yeah.
Won the tournament, pretty viable. They have a role, I think, on the table, which is like a good kind of like anchor point to the army. And they can really skew holding an objective.
Yes.
Because some units find it really tough to kill them.
Yeah.
Other armies just smash them. So they can be a little bit swingy in terms of their sort of validity on the table. Yeah. Would I run 9? Probably not.
Probably not.
Because I think those skews are going to be too extreme for a tournament. I could run 3 though, yeah.
I'd happily run 6. I actually really, really like them.
Yeah.
You know, the Dogmata can put Obsec on them, I believe, and then, you know, they'll walk around with Val.
Rerolls to hit and wound, yeah.
Armor of Contempt on a
2 up
save, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Definitely one unit, I think, is a standout. Right. Custodes players. Have you put salt on your chips? Because you're going to need to save some for this book. Well, the 3 points upgrade, I guess, the PDF. Trajan is up 40 points.
To 200 now, yeah?
To 200 now. And I will skip ahead to the Forge World section, because for Custodes...
Yo, hang on. Whoa, so let's just, before we move on, Michael.
Look, I'm trying to make it as quick as possible, all right? Some mercy.
Trajan up to 200 points. Now, when he was 160, this is a model that everybody took.
Yes.
Nobody, I mean, I didn't take him once because, anyway, he was on a bike. But my point is, when you compare him to many of the other chapter masters in the game, and he is effectively a chapter master.
He is, yeah.
He hits so much harder.
He does.
He's got stratagem manipulation.
Yep.
He's got your manipulation for your Katars.
Yep.
He can do stratagems for free.
You can fight twice, potentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Heroically intervene 6 inches.
The guy is a weapon.
He is a weapon.
Is he worth 200 points?
I would say he is.
He is worth 200
He's
points.
worth 200. It's only the fact that the rest of the army is so expensive that it seems like he's not worth 200 points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You compare him to, say, Dante, great example.
Who's 165?
165 points for Dante. 160 for Trajan Valoris.
Yeah. 200's fine.
200's okay, guys.
Yeah.
I think he's still good.
Yeah.
Still good. Right. Forge World, there's not a huge number of changes here, but there are significant
no
ones.
other changes in the Custodes, just that change on Trajan,
yes,
which I think is fine.
Yeah.
And then the...
the pointed upgrades as well have stayed the same for Custodes.
Yeah.
So the Captain Commander stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the Galatus and the
These
Aculus.
two levels, if you go to camera 2, Nicole, basically these are the 3. Trajan, And then our 2 dreadnoughts.
Yeah, they've got up 10 each.
And I think the salvo launcher might be a little bit more expensive or something.
I believe the bikes and the salvo launchers may have gone back to their original costs or something along those lines.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's custodies. They've gone up in points. Sorry, we don't see them much, but that's how it is. Astra Militari. Okay, the assassins are all the same. Just quickly say the assassins are all 100 points still. Astra Militarum. Yarrick went up 5 points. Okay. The infantry squad we know about with the data slate. So they've gone up 5 to 60 points, but all of their upgrades are free.
Yeah.
So that's not really a points increase, and we already know about that one anyway. Bullgrin have gone down 5 each. Very interesting. We've got our special weapon squads are up 5 points, but all their weapons are free.
Yeah, and we'll see this trend a lot with Guard.
Yeah.
So you basically get a lot of free weapons now, which is great. It makes your admin a lot easier as well.
It does. There's so many options here. Like bolt gun for 2 points. Do you want to have to really bother with adding that 2 points on?
Yeah.
Veterans, same cost, but they get a free heavy weapon, from what I can see here.
Yeah.
Armored Sentinels and Scout Sentinels are up 5 points, but all their weapon options are free.
Honestly, Michael was here crying. He was like, why have my Sentinels gone up? And then I was like, then we looked at the weapons.
And now I've wiped my tears away.
And now
it's okay.
Now they're tears of joy. Yeah.
They're tears of joy. Unless you didn't take any of these weapons anyway and it's just 5 points more expensive. We'll carry on. Heavy weapons, up 5 points. In fact, they've not changed. They've just got 3 weapons now.
3 weapons, great.
Let's be real, 3 guardsmen with a las cannon each. It's not.
Why not?
It's not going to break the game.
No.
That's it for the main stuff. Unchanged. The rest of it, like Russes, etc. Lords of War, the las cannon for all of the super heavies has gone down 20 points. So it's 50 points for las cannon for the super heavy tanks. And what that means, if you're not familiar with Guard, is that they get the 2 heavy bolters as part of that package.
Right.
So when you take a Bane Blade, you pay 50 points for the las cannon and 2 heavy bolters that come under it.
Right.
As a sponsor. Now you only pay 30 points for that, for each of those.
Okay.
And of course you take 2 together, so normally you'd spend 100 points on your 2 sponsors. Now you're only spending 60.
So your Bane Blades are basically 40 points cheaper.
40 points cheaper.
Okay, and because of now the new mission book, you can now take a super heavy auxiliary for freezies. So you don't have to spend 3Ps. We might see Bane Blades on the table now.
We definitely will.
I'm not going to lie, I played an RTT against one the other day, and I got wrecked. I lost 4 Centurions turn 1. I was like, sorry, what just happened? Bane Blades could be back.
Yeah, that's Guard. No other changes. Guard have done quite well, actually, because they've got 4 brand new secondaries in Nephilim.
Yeah.
We do talk about that a bit more in our members' content. Adeptus Mechanicus. So
not a huge amount of changes here.
No.
Just a couple on a couple of key units.
Yeah.
I think, again, bring them down to maybe more their codex cost.
Yes. Yeah,
so we've got the
Electro Priests
down 1.
Down 1. Cerberus Raiders down 2 each.
Yeah.
And Rust Stalkers are down 1 as well.
Nice.
Yeah. The paid upgrades have not changed there.
In the cohort stayed the same as well.
Cohort stayed the same as 2 per model.
Any questions, Nicole, before we move on to Imperial Knights?
Just checking I wasn't muted. So we do have someone who has been a YouTube member for 4 months. That's Whiteslan. Says, you guys have really helped me improve my game.
Oh, thanks so much. Really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We also have some of our coaches in the chat. We've got Ian James. We've got VT Jake says, what's the most handsome model in 40k?
Well, unfortunately, Jake, that's not one of you. But if there was, that's what it would be.
Yeah. When the squats come out and James from Siege paints you as a squat, I think
that'll be the most handsome model.
That'll be the most handsome model in the game.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Any other questions, Nicole?
Well, we have a lot of questions, no super chatted questions, so it's hard for me to read them because they're not standing out, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Are you struggling to see them?
I am. I don't have my glasses on. I mean, they're for distance anyway, so this won't help me, but
And also they're just like popping up in a nice bright colour for you.
Yeah, I need a bright like orange background to them.
Yeah,
with some dollar signs above.
Yeah,
that really gets attention.
That really helps me read out those questions.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, I mean it's not like me and Michael spent 3 hours this morning kind of just doing this, you know.
Look, guys, if you've got like a more complicated question on like how do we think this affects X army, definitely super chat that in, because that's obviously a longer question. We can spend some time talking about that.
Read out a couple, Nicole. Go on.
Okay, I'll just run through.
Aside. Now that is sarcasm, by the way, what we were saying. Okay, just to.
So there's some about what are the changes for Eldari, but I assume you're going to just go over through all of them.
We'll get there.
I don't know if they're ready for it.
I don't know. I'd get some tissues ready for those tears. Right. Maybe they're of joy.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Someone said, did the Telemon go up?
No, Telemon's not affected at all.
So what's next?
Well,
Nicole's getting some questions. Yeah.
Next is Knights. They've not changed because they're new.
Right, Inquisitors. Come on now, the big one. Everybody needs to know about the Inquisitors.
Right, all of their units have gone down 50 points. Yeah. So just take an Inquisition army.
He's lying.
I'm lying. They've not changed at all. Let's be real. Did anyone?
Draxus took a bit of a shining for a while for people.
Draxus did, yeah.
So before we have any of that, right? Go on then. Who's next?
We have Chaos Space Marines. These are from 2021, and we know from Warhammer Community that the book is coming out for pre-order on Saturday. So we haven't reviewed it. We haven't reviewed the points for that
because it's all up in the air.
It's all up in the air.
But obviously, pre-order, on Saturday.
On Saturday, yep.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more.
Stay tuned to Death Guard. It's an interesting one.
Now we don't have. Chris has borrowed our Death Guard army. Otherwise, we'd have had it all out because basically this is one of our top 3 biggest winners.
I think Death Guard's definitely a winner.
Huge winner. So there is a person that always comments on all of our videos.
Yeah, there is. It's like if you're a playtester, why are Death Guard so bad?
Tell Games Workshop. Well, look, they've got there. All right. They've got Armour of Contempt. You've got more secondary options.
You've got more OBSEC.
You've got more OBSEC.
And now you've got more models.
And there's more models now, okay? We're good.
We're good.
Death Guard, we're good. So, let's start off with the big boy himself.
Big boy himself.
The biggest winner.
The Primarch has gone down 40 points.
40? 40. OP. He needs to go up. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is a power move.
I like it. We're going to see him a bit more, I think.
Yeah, I think we will.
Back to the little guys. The Plaguecast went down 5.
Yeah.
It's nice. Poxwalks have gone down a point each. So remember they went up previously.
Yeah.
So nice they're back down. Blightlord Terminators have gone down 2 each.
That's big, actually, yeah.
So they're only 40 points base now. And also big is Death Shroud going down 5 each.
Huge.
50 points for a Death Shroud.
I mean, if you were taking 15 of those, or maybe 9, 3 units of 3, and then taking a brick of 10, that's some good savings there. And then, you're going to be able to actually maybe even afford a whole... With the Death Guard changes, you could even be looking at an entirely new unit added in.
Yes. Because
we've got the Blindfold Drones, they've gone down 15 points.
15, yeah, and they were popular with the Flesh Mowers.
And the Haulers down 10.
Haulers down 10, you might see them a bit more.
Yeah.
Land Raider, obviously, Predators have gone down as well. The Plague Burst's gone down 15.
Yeah.
I mean, all the indirect nerfs from the data slate come into play there.
Absolutely.
And all of the paid upgrades for them have gone down 5 each as well. So,
Death Guard players, you can rejoice. You've got it. You're a big winner.
Yeah.
Big winner.
Start breaking wind.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of points to play with now.
I don't know if that was the best.
Start breaking wind.
Well,
they're Death Guard, so they're stinky, innit?
When you got to explain your jokes, Michael, they're not funny.
I'm sure someone got it. I'm sure someone appreciates my jokes. Unbelievable. This is what I have to put 3 hours going through these points.
With Michael breaking wind.
With me breaking wind.
Yep.
Are we ready?
I'm not.
Well, we've got super chat.
Yes,
excellent.
Thank you.
Just to change the topic real quick.
Off Break and Wind, yeah.
Mr. Coffee has super chatted in. As a Gene Stealer cult player, I feel really shafted over the lack of points changes to... Okay, I'm going to butcher the name. I'm really sorry.
Aberrants?
Aberrants?
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly how I was going to say it. And characters.
Well, now that the smell's left the room, we can talk about those points maybe later.
Well, we've super chatted. Go to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go to the Gene Stealer cult section.
Gene Stealer cults haven't really
You super
changed.
chat it, we'll go to that section. There we go.
Gene Stealer cults have not changed.
Yeah, so there are no changes on Gene Stealer cult. And again, you need to look at this as a... Yes, it would have been nice for Aberrants to come down a bit. I probably agree. I mean, they're tanned, they're muscular. They always need to be cheap, so it's in abundance. But I think the Gene Stealer cult are in okay place. I think they're a very good competitive army.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if potentially they would have gone down in points, because of the amount of models you put on the table, it could have really impacted huge swings.
Yes.
So it'd be interesting to see what happens with them potentially in the future. And I think because they've actually got some good secondaries as well.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a good amount of play style from those. So
you can nearly always max engage on all fronts. You retrieve Nachman, like actions. You've got loads of little units to do that.
Psychic actions
compared to everybody else. So your secondaries are still great, and I actually think that they will win out simply by the fact that everything else has changed.
And you've got to remember, like some of the other armies that were relying on To the Last, and they were relying on Stranglehold as their secondaries, they're actually being taken away from a lot of these armies.
Yeah.
But your army will still play very efficiently in the new mission book. So yes, your points have stayed the same, but don't worry. I think on the whole, it's still going to be an army in a great place.
Agreed.
So that's a great question. So thanks very much. Yeah.
Right. Well.
1,000 Suns?
Over to 1,000 Suns, our Magic Space Marines, our Space Wizards. There are a few changes to be fair, but they're not really specific to 1,000 Suns. One is with the big boy.
So obviously Land Raiders, Predators, all that kind of stuff has come down for the Space Marine equivalents.
Hellbrute's down 10 as well.
Yeah.
Magnus, he's gone down 30 points.
Camertunical.
So 420 points for Magnus now.
Yeah.
Used to be 450. Great, we'll certainly see him a lot. And then the paid upgrades are down 5 each.
Nice.
Very nice. I think you'll probably see a bit more of them because I know that Rahati and some of these other ones were definitely being taken.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, that's really it.
So I want to know, guys, are you going to be, if you're an Ultramarine player, you're a Death Guard player, 1,000 Suns, are you going to be putting in a Primarch in your list now? They are literally 30, 40,
do it,
or 80 points cheaper.
Or are you going to put in Mortarion and Magnus?
Let's not get ridiculous now. Let's give them one thing to comment on, Michael, okay? Don't confuse it.
And Guillemot, no. All right, let's carry on.
People are going to be so confused that if they're breaking wind or doing what now? Yeah.
We've got another super chat here as well from Dr. Rhino. Eldar or RAF units army with changes gone from bad to laughably bad, or has it always been that way? I'll still play because it looks cool.
All Wraith units? All Wraith
army? Yeah, probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So let's go to Eldar. Okay. We'll go there. We're going to go there. You super chat it in. I think it's only fair.
All right.
Okay,
Brace yourself.
We'll cover the Wraith element in a moment. But I actually think you're okay. Of all the Eldar builds out there, I think you're actually fine. So here we go.
Right, hold on.
You need to get the Eldar
codex. It's in the codex that came out after this, the points there.
Okay, so we'll go over the brief stuff. Okay, so we're looking at, first of all, Phoenix Lords. Okay, so we've got a Camertunical. We've obviously got Jainzar, we've got a Suraman. Basically, all of the Phoenix Lords are up 10 points.
Up 10 points, Baharoth is up 20.
Because Baharoth is...
silly.
Ridiculous, with what he can do.
He can go.
So he's up 20, all the others are 10.
Yeah.
Farses are up 5 points, I believe.
Autarch's up 5. Interesting, Autarchs now have to pay for Mandy Blasters and the Fusion Pistol.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. So you're probably looking at like a 10-point increase on your Autarchs. Yeah. Again, very good unit for what they do. So, and remember, they allow you to sort of manipulate your stratagems. In Farses, you can manipulate your fate dice. There's lots of people running multiple Farses. So I think having them a little bit more expensive just makes people make a little bit harder choices, which is good. Aspect Warriors now.
Well, just quickly do want to say, Inari-wise, the HQ choices have gone up as well. The Vizak and Iverina up 5 and the Incarns up 10. I'm not certain that was warranted. But if you want to raise the cost of the army in general, okay, fine. It's a shame because we don't see Inari enough anyway, in my opinion.
I agree.
There's some points changes to Void's Guard to make them all a bit easier to work with, I guess. And then Dire Avengers up a point each.
Yes, you think, well, Dire Avengers, massively powerful unit.
Yes.
But you can't really take them up too much more.
No.
And it's just going to hopefully stop people from taking 30.
Yeah.
People might take 20 now, not 30, because all of a sudden that's a 30-point increase. And then if all of your characters have gone up 10 points as well, it's going to start adding up. So Guardians have stayed the same?
Yeah, the troops have all stayed the same. So Guardians, Rangers, Storm Guardians all stayed the same.
Yeah.
On the Dire Avengers note, obviously we see them as very powerful because of Hail of Doom, and they work really well with it. But once you put them in a different Ulth way, they're not quite as strong.
Yeah.
Fire Dragons up a point each as well. Howling Banshees up a point each. Scorpions up a point each.
Yeah.
So all of those Aspect Warriors have gone up a point each.
But then you get to the fast attack ones, the Warp Spiders and the Swooping Hawks, and I believe they're up 2.
They're up 2 each, yeah.
Now remember, the Swooping Hawks are so hard to kill, especially because Indirect was taken out of the game to such a significant amount, and obviously Warp Spiders have got that whole flicker jump thing. When you charge them, they can move out the way.
Yeah.
And I believe the Shining Spears have remained the same.
Spears are the same, yeah. Spears are absolutely the same.
However, one of their abilities has gone up in points because that was the one everybody took. The Heartstrong.
Heartstrike, yep.
Heartstrike.
On the Dire Avenger note, the Stand Firm ability has gone up to 15. That's OBSEC, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gone up to 15 points for the upgrade. I will briefly mention Warlocks unaffected, Wraith Blades, Wraith Guard, Wraith Lord, all unaffected, totally fine. And I still think they've got some play, if I'm honest.
And actually, like, we start to look at these units now with, you know, the rest of the Eldar going up in points. Maybe it makes these options look a little bit more viable because we didn't see them before. So if you're a Wraith army player, then, you know, you've still got a nice build in there which hasn't been touched by this. Just because what we don't want to happen in the game, like we saw with, do you remember when Drakari went up in points on some things, but then Thick City came out, and then, like, at the same time,
so Thick City was all the Talos and Grotesque.
because that dropped. It was like everybody, Talos and Grotesque was still okay, but the points went up for some stuff, and all of a sudden, if that would have remained the same, it would have had better internal balance. But because all that stuff dropped at the same time, it was like everyone just switched from one army to the other, and we don't want this to happen with the Wraiths. So if you know, Aspect Warriors are up, Dark Reapers stayed the same, I believe.
Yes.
We didn't see a huge amount of those on the tabletop.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Avatar went up as well.
The Avatar did go up 10 points,
What a beautiful model.
Yeah, Viper stayed the same, Shroud Runners stayed the same. There was something...
Vectored engines on the vehicles.
Oh, Wind Riders. The Scatter Laser's gone up to 10 points now per model. Same as the Shuriken Cannon, so you can't quite span them as much of that as you'd like. Yeah, Vectored Engine's gone up from 10 to 20 as a pointed upgrade on.
Yeah, so be aware of that if you're taking Vectored Engines,
a lot of the vehicles have gone up 5 points. So the Falcon, the Fire Prism, and the Wave Serpent have all gone up 5 points.
And the Flyers?
And both Flyers have gone up 5 as well. So a Crimson Hunter and a Wraith Fighter have gone up 5.
Shame.
While
we're there, we'll quickly touch on Harlequins. No changes that you don't already know about, aside from, because obviously in the balance update, the Void Weavers and the Star Weavers went up. The only increase here is the Death Jester up 15 points.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite a strong unit. Yeah. Would I take one at 70? Yes. Would I take 2? No. And that's exactly kind of the attitude that we want to start to see is...
Fair enough.
You know, those different elements. Nicole, any more questions from the chat?
So we've had a few questions referencing that they thought the points were going to go digital instead of, I guess, the book.
It is digital.
Yeah.
The points are digital.
You can download them now, guys.
Yeah.
There's a PDF you can download. If you go to Warhammer Community, it's all up there. It was released about an hour ago.
Probably an hour ago, yeah.
So yeah, go there, download it, and it's all there. We're just here really to talk through some of the impacts.
Yeah.
And we'll save you some time skimming to see what's changed.
If one of my VT coaches is in the chat, then if you could please put a link in the comments, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome
VT Ben Jones is in the chat, so.
Ben, if you could just chuck the link into the community article you shared in our team chat, that'd be great, mate. Most appreciated. But yeah, it is. Oh, Hive Tyrant. Oh, nearly straight off the table.
Oh.
Don't need him anymore.
That was foreshadowing.
Yeah, cool. But yeah, so it is all digital, and obviously if you are subscribers to the Warhammer Plus app, it will all be in there for you for your army building rosters. Yeah.
Okay.
There's another super chat from White Slan. Don't have to answer if you don't want to, but do you think sales affect points cost? Also, my poor Death Jesters.
So do sales so here, okay, I will say this. I never get a phone call as a playtester going, Steve, sales are a bit low on the old...
the old monolith.
on the Predator Annihilator at the moment. What do you reckon? Oh, let's take... That never happens.
Let's take 15 points off, because then they'll definitely buy it.
Literally, that never, ever happens. And I also never get a phone call saying, hey, we've got this, new unit coming out.
Yeah.
Let's make it OP.
Oh, hell yeah.
That also never happens, okay? However, what will dictate sales is, so, for example, the efficiency of a unit, people will go out and buy them because they are more efficient. I think when I took Assault Centurions to the BAO and did so well with them, they were out of stock on GW that week. Now, that had no influence of their points or whatever.
No.
I just happened to do well with that unit at the time, and people were excited about it. Like we've seen this with the Primaris vehicles. I believe the Repulsor went down massively.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't believe I forgot to mention that. Yeah, the Repulsor's gone down loads.
So it's not like...
Yeah, 25 for a normal one and 35 for an Executioner.
Because what we ideally want, and I'm sure this is what Games Workshop want as a business as well, because if I was running their business, I would want this to be the case, is I don't want Michael sat there thinking, really waiting for the Eradicators to come back in stock. Because they're the most point efficient unit in the army at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to sit and wait, give me an email when they come back in stock. And I'm not going to buy anything until they're back in stock because this is the only thing I want. What I actually want is Michael to look through his codex and the points and go, the Eradicators are out of stock, but that's okay because Devastators are in. And actually, Devastators are just as good, just a different type of unit.
Yes, and this is all an example, guys.
Yeah.
But you get the idea, yeah.
So that means then, as a business, Games Workshop in a situation where Michael then goes and buys something because he thought, the Eradicators aren't in stock, I'll get those next month. But what I'll pick up this time is this thing because it's also okay. I was thinking about getting them anyway, I'll get them now, and maybe I'll get the Eradicators next month. Yeah. That is a much better, in my opinion, business model. Yeah. In order for that to happen, we need good internal balance.
Yeah, if everything's balanced, everything sells.
Yeah. So. If nothing's great and nothing's terrible, then it also happens, it's much easier then I'm sure for Games Workshop to manage their production line as well, and what they've got to make on a regular basis, stock, the rest of it. I mean, I'm not that smart and intelligent to figure it all out, but it's just keeping it simple, isn't it, really?
He's actually a genius.
Well, anyway. So, no is your answer. I don't think sales ever influence points.
Nope.
In that way, yeah. Not directly, maybe indirectly, of course.
Yes, where were we? Yeah, Repulsors went down.
Any more questions, Nicole? And thanks for your super chat, by the way. It really does mean a lot to us. It does. Thank you so much.
So we got one Harlequins or Blood Angels for best in faction.
Blood Angels.
Well, you got now.
Yeah.
You got 15 Assault Centurions.
Yeah. Coming. It's happening. I think, I'm going to take Blood Angels to my next tournament, to the Beachhead, or the Summer Slam here in July in Bournemouth in a couple of weeks. I'm definitely taking Blood Angels. Really excited of putting them on the table. I mean, I got some really good Harlequin scores in. Yeah. And if I had another couple of good scores, I might win Best in Faction in the ITC. Yeah. But similarly, I've done quite well with Blood Angels already. I've got a 3rd place event.
Yeah.
And I've also got a 1st place RTT.
I guess it probably feels quite nice going back to your roots.
I love it.
So.
And I'm really enjoying painting the Blood Angels as well, and that's the most important thing, yeah.
Yeah, and of course your painting game has come on quite far as well.
The Rhino has just arrived. He's in the house. He's arrived, ready for the stream game tonight.
He's wiping his He's wiping his tears.
His custodes.
For a custode. Well, I was thinking about the towel, but
let's not bring it all up. But hey, Guard, I've got some buffs. You'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've also got another super chat.
No, you're not allowed to swear. Chris, got another super chat?
White Slan has given us another super chat just saying, thanks for answering. I have to get back to work. So we'll catch up with the rest later. Once again, thanks for all the help for my game.
Cheers, mate.
Appreciate that, buddy.
All right. Where are we?
I don't know.
Chaos Demons, no changes. Sorry, Chaos Demons. You're just going to have to live with it. Let's be real. You get summoned. So, yeah.
Nicole's not happy.
Nicole's not happy.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
You need help.
You got to play your time to learn the rules first, though.
Yeah.
Chaos Knights obviously came out quite recently.
Nicole's like, Steve, come on.
Put a word in.
When we get the new codex, Steve, and I'm like, I don't know, Nicole. Like, I'm not in charge of production. So let me just call the shipping company. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, have you tried that? Because I think we should.
No, I don't know. So anyway, you have to deal with it for now.
The Drukhari.
The Drukhari, okay.
There's a few changes. I say few, there's
very subtle change, yeah.
One. So the Witches are down a point per model.
Yeah, Witches down a little bit.
But I think they went up as well during a data slate, so that sort of rolled back. There are no other changes. Someone mentioned something about Clawed Fiends being 15 points, they're 25.
And that's why you should never listen to leaks, okay? Never listen to leaks.
Yes.
Leaks have never got anything good to say, and they don't taste that great either, all right?
Raiders have not been rolled back. They're still what they were with the data slates and the
so no real shake-ups for Drukhari. That's fine. They're actually okay. Yeah. I mean, Jake at the last week smashed my Blood Angels anyway, so I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think they actually need to go up, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Right, let's get on to them. This could take a while.
Probably the biggest winners.
Maybe the biggest winners.
The biggest winners?
I think these just take it off Death Guard, to be honest. You have to go to... come on, Seb.
The Necrons.
There we are. Camera 2, Nicole.
Biggest winners, the Necrons. Rich from our Necron stream is borrowing the Silent King.
I would say stolen, but...
Has stolen. If you see this Silent King, message us with information.
Because he's not going to say, oh, I've been stolen, is he? He's silent. Don't talk about that.
Thought my Breaking Wind joke was bad. Right.
That's still the worst dad joke I've ever heard. Right.
Okay, there's a lot of reductions here, a lot. I'm not going to go through every single one. In general, all of the named characters have gone down from 10 to 15 points each.
Okay, cool. So if you're taking a character, it's cheaper.
Yeah, and of course, remember that now named characters have all those extra benefits that might seem like relics, but they don't have to spend the CP for them.
Nice, nice, nice.
Chronomancers, your Technomancers, your Plasmancers, Psychomancers are all down 5.
Wow. So all your characters are down.
Great. I will mention that the Destroyer Lord, Scorpec Lord, not gone down. That's the only one that hasn't been reduced.
Cool.
But that's that. All of the Cryptech Arcana are down 5 points each. So your paid upgrades down 5 points each. You might even consider taking one. The Troops Immortals are down a point each. Okay. Which is, I think Immortals are good. Yeah. So that's very nice to see. Necron Warriors, sadly, stayed at 130. Fine. Okay, right.
When you say 130, you mean 13?
13 each, yes.
Right, cool.
Right, okay, so Satan.
Yes, the big winners here.
I think we're going to start seeing them a lot more.
Yeah.
They're down a whopping 50 points.
Each
Catan
is down 50 points.
The Deceiver, the Nightbringer, the Void Dragon, they're all down 50 points each.
So if you take 3, you essentially get your 4th one for 50% off.
Yes.
Think of it like that.
I believe they're 1 per detachment.
Yeah. Buy 3, get a half of one for free. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Should be the new Catan slogan. Yeah. If you're in Walmart or if you're in Marks and Spencer's here in the UK, they don't do sales, so probably not them. But yeah.
Deathmarks down 3 points per model.
Spam them.
Fair enough. They were 18 points.
Yeah.
And yeah. Hexmark Destroyers down 10. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Transcendent Catan is down 40.
Right.
They're not quite the 50. Triarch Stalker down 15. Tomblade's down 5.
Everything.
Triarch Praetorians down 3.
Yeah.
I think I missed Lichguard, which is down 3 as well. Lichguard.
Big winners, yeah.
Yeah, Lichguard and Triarch Praetorians. They're like the extra infantry that we don't really see that much, but I think they're really cool.
Yeah.
So nice to see them on the board again. The Annihilation Barge and some of the ones haven't changed.
Yeah.
Doomsday Axe not changed, guys. Low Curse Destroyers and Heavy Destroyers have gone down 5. However, by the looks of it, the normal destroyers, both their weapon options have gone down 5 as well.
Yeah.
So overall, I think they're down 10.
Big.
Pretty big, because they're not bad.
Yeah.
Ghost Ark's down 15. So if you want to park that metal bus in front of people, then you can do that a bit more. Doomside's down 15. Nightside's down 10. And then my favourite, the Monolith, down 30 to 300 points flat.
And then what's the Silent King down to?
Right, the Silent King's down 20.
Down 20 points.
Down to 400 points flat.
Nice flat 400, easy numbers.
I think he was probably auto take anyway.
Yeah.
If we're honest. Even more now, so that because he gives you CP back.
Yeah.
All right, Necron players, you don't have loads of great CP, whatever, but at least you have them now.
Now you can actually try and use them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Tesseract Volk's down 50, and the Obelisk is down 30.
Yeah.
And then the Terrain piece is down 20 as
Love
well.
it. So big winners there, Necrons. Any comments, Nicole?
We do. We have a couple of super chats. So we've got Stephen Burton says Razorwing Jet Fighters have dropped by 10 points.
Oh, I must have missed that one.
Okay. Razorwing.
Razorwing Jet Fighter. Okay.
Is that correct? Because someone asked as well.
Not from what I've
okay,
got
so
here.
What's the points on the Razorwing Jet Fighter? I'll tell you right now.
Here, 150.
The Razorwing Jet Fighter is D for Drakari. 160.
It's
So-
gone up
so
10.
150.
150. It stayed the same.
Razorwing. Yeah.
What about the weapon options?
Disintegrator Cannon 5.
Yeah, they're the same. It's the same.
Splinter Cannon 5.
It's not changed.
So the Razorwing is the same.
It's the same. It's not changed.
Okay, we've got another super chat from Mr. Carrie K. Necron / Death Guard player here. Kron's got a good boost, but the Death Guard buff is on another level.
Yeah, I think because Death Guard were sort of
Yeah.
probably agree you're in a better place anyway compared to Necrons. It does seem like they've got a better buff. However, from what I've read and seen, I think the Necron secondaries are actually very good. So maybe the Necrons are coming out in force.
Either way, you're going to have to make a choice when you go to a tournament. You can't take both armies, all right? Because they're both looking good.
Or you take one army and then you just stick the other one on the table when your opponent gets there.
Don't do that.
And we've got one more from James CM. Hey guys, late to the stream. What were the Marine and Blood Angel changes? Also well done at the BAO. Great finishes and games.
Right, I'll do the Blood Angels real quick for you. Sanguinary Guard down 2 points. Death Company down 2 points. Assault Marines down 2 points. Ashtorath down 10 points.
Yeah, the Assault Marines don't have to pay for their jump packs anymore.
Yeah.
Hence why they're down 2 points. Space Marines.
Oh, the Bold Predators down as well. And then a lot of the big vehicles are down for Marines.
Yeah, Repulsors down.
And then some named characters, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
Nothing to shout home about.
No.
But put some tanks in.
Unfortunately, Assault Centurions are staying the same.
Yeah, I think you can probably be to blame for that, Steve.
I thought I timed it right. You know.
Yeah, just in the gap.
Yeah,
like you had with all of the other Blood Angel units.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we've got Orcs next.
Cool.
These guys actually have done pretty well out of this.
Yeah.
Which is good because we started to see Orc numbers drop off a little bit.
In the wild, we've really started to see the
and
Orc
here
numbers
we see the Orc numbers
really dropping off
really
in decline.
dropping off.
Yeah. On the verge of extinction. Yeah.
Right. There's not loads of changes. Don't get overhyped. The Beast Boss on Squigosaur has gone down 15 points though.
Yeah. Kill rig down.
What I do want to say on the Beast Boss on Squigosaur, a lot of the times people will run multiple, but they'd have to run them in different detachments, which you're probably not going to see now. So it's nice that that's sort of
reflected.
A bit of a,
And also, like, remember when they went up, it's because everyone took them, and now it's like the kill rigs it's not as popular, so they can go back to their kind of normal cost, which is good. So kill rigs are down.
Yeah.
The big boys down.
Yeah.
And then also, this is the most significant thing, is that all of your troops are now down by 1 point.
Yeah.
So Gretchen,
boys, beast snaggers, other infantry, burner boys, commandos, knobs, storm boys, tank busters, they're all down a point each per model as well. And the rucker truck's down 15 points.
So if you had 100 models on the table, you've now just got 100 points to play with.
Yeah.
If you look at it like that, that's where these numbers really start to become significant, rather than looking for like characters or units being changed. Do it in masses because it's a mass horde army.
Yeah. Looters down as well, a point each.
Yeah.
And the kill rig 20, as you say.
Right, let's get on to the couple of the biggest losers. We've looked at Gene Stealer Cult. We've got 2 factions left to cover, I believe.
Yeah, we've got Tau and we've got Nids.
Tau, right.
Well, possibly the hardest and most brutal hit in the points update. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of enjoyed it. It was a good 3 hours. Well, this particular bit. That's my Storm Surge.
Even more so.
Wow.
Sorry, what's that about the Storm Surge?
Well, the Storm Surge has gone up to 400 points, which means it's gone up 70 points.
Do you know what this means now?
Mm-hmm.
This means, so Games Workshop, thank you so much. I never, ever have to listen to Chris now complaining about Imperial Knights being 400 points and the Storm Surge being 70 points cheaper.
Thank you.
Thank you, Games Workshop. I never have to listen to Chris moan again.
Well,
about the Storm Surge.
The rest of these changes are
about the Storm Surge versus the Knights. They're the same, Chris. You can be happy. Okay?
Yeah.
One's still better than the others do.
Yeah. Okay. All of the ethereals are up 20 points.
Ethereal's up 20, yeah, cool.
All of them are up 20.
Yeah.
Cool.
Commanders?
All the commanders are up 10, and their individual points cost for the plasma rifle, for their third plasma rifle, is now 25 instead of 20. So if you're taking 3 plasmas on a commander, it's a bit more expensive.
They're all more expensive.
All more expensive, yeah?
Yeah, so what's 5, 10?
It's 10, 15. So on the normal crisis suits, it was 5, 10. But the characters, it's different. So on the characters, it's 10, 15.
So the commander, what we've got here is the plasma rifle starts at 10 points.
Yes.
Then it goes 15 and then 25.
Yeah, so on the commanders, it's a bit more expensive originally in the codex. But it has gone up that last slot. What I will mention now, drones, your gun drones are all 10.
Yeah.
Good, get rid of that 8 nonsense. Marker drones still 10. Shield drones up to 15. Better than working with 12, if I'm honest, but still expensive. But then shield drones are really, really annoying.
I'm just looking at Chris's face. It's brilliant.
End this video.
It's like he's chewing on a wasp over there.
I'm glad he's not on the deck later, because it might get out of hand. Right, the biggest changes. I love them. They're the coolest unit in the book.
Do you know the person I can't wait to listen to talk about Tau?
Yeah.
Is our Tau coach, and they call him the Nid Slayer.
The bug stomper.
Carl Grundy.
Carl Grundy.
He's going to be like, guys, these points changes are awesome. I'm loving that the Storm Surge has gone up. He's always so positive, and that's what we love here at VT, positivity.
Yeah.
Is
either that or
Kyle,
he's in a cupboard screaming.
Kyle is the man when it comes to Tau. You need to speak to Kyle if you're a Tau player. He's awesome.
He's going to adapt like a true commander. Right, Crisis Battle Suits, up 10 points per model.
Yeah.
And it doesn't stop there. If you're taking plasma rifles or air-bursting fragmentation projectors, the points cost has progressively gone up. So 10 for 1, 15 for 2, 20 for the third one.
So this is Crisis now?
This is Crisis Battle
This
Suits.
is the elite slot, so your troops are staying the same.
Yes.
We're on to the Crisis, so they've gone up to 40 points base cost. They were 30 before?
30 before, yeah.
So they've gone up 10, and then obviously your weapons have got more expensive as well, and those more spammable weapons that were taken a lot of.
And the Iridium suit's gone up 5 as well.
Cool.
To 10 points.
Which is starting to become really significant here, because if you were taking, let's say, 10, 15...
I've got an example
Crisis.
list
We've
here.
got an example list of how significant
I've got
this
one
is.
for each of the worst losers, actually.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll be interesting to cover at the end then, is actually the impact this is going to have on the table. So let's rattle through this then. Points updates on those. Then we've got the
Bodyguard.
Bodyguard.
They're 40 points each now as well. Remember, they can only take 3 slots though, but they're still more expensive. Exactly the same changes with the weapons, plasma rifles, air bursts, etc. No other changes. Tactical drones, obviously, I've already mentioned these, and that applies for all units that can take those drones. Broadsides up 10, as if losing core wasn't quite enough. And of course, the Storm Surge plus 70. You'll be glad to know that the Tide Wall has not changed in points.
It's going to get a bit spicy then, but thank God that stayed the same.
But Hammerhead still stayed the same, you know, Long Strike's the same, Devilfish the same, it's all good.
Cool.
Right, I'm going to need to switch to the Codex for this one.
Kyle is in the chat here. He says he's here and it's all good.
It's all good.
It's all good.
All good. I don't know if that was like a really positive it's all good.
Oh, Carl.
Or like a it's all good.
It's all good.
Right. It's about to get better.
Now this is where we can all rejoice. So if you weren't playing Eldar and you weren't playing Crisis Suit Spam and you weren't playing Eldar, did I say Eldar?
You said NIDS.
And NIDS, right?
Yeah.
This is where we can all get better because all those big fish now have just got a little bit smaller.
Yes.
No towel pun intended.
Great. Good one. Yes. Shall we do some points values?
For NIDS, yeah.
For NIDS, right.
Who's getting it first?
Well, you've already knocked him over. The Hive Tyrants have both gone up 20 points.
Oh, see you later. Boop.
Cool. So 160 now, 180, 190 now, 210. Obviously, you're not going to see both now because, well, realistically, with Nephilim changes, extra CP costs for your patrols, yeah, goodbye. Swarmlord as well has gone up 20. Yeah, a bit sad about it, but, you know, fine. Tyrion Warriors.
What's he up to now?
He's up to 240 now.
That's fair.
So he's actually more expensive than the Winged Hive Tyrant. But I can live with that.
He's good.
Tyrion Warriors now. These were definitely undercosted at 25 points a model. Jesus. They're 30 each now, and I would argue that's still very good.
Still very efficient.
Still very good.
Yeah, still very good.
My main man.
But at 35 points, do they become too much? That's the...
Yeah, that's the problem. Maybe 31 points.
That's the difficult thing, right?
It is, yeah.
With a unit like that, because they do die quickly to some games.
They do. They've only got 4 episodes.
Because the rest of the army's been hit pretty hard as well with the obviously the change. You can't take double Hive Tyrant anymore, which were common things. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So let's Warriors are at 5. Any other troops changes?
No other troops changes, which is nice.
Elites.
My main man, Death Leaper, has gone up 25 points to 120 models. Now, you're probably thinking, I didn't see Death Leaper that much. I'll be honest, in the hands of a good player, if they're playing around with him, he is ludicrous. You know, I was charging him into Repentia so that they couldn't fight on death. I was charging him to people like Celestine so they couldn't interrupt. Charging them into like a
He's
character.
Literally the most... His rule is the strongest rule I've ever seen on a data sheet.
Agreed.
Fact.
Yeah. You want a transhuman? Nah. You want to resurrect your character after Death Leaper kills them? No. They're dead. He was great.
Honestly.
He's still good.
He could be 150 and he's still worth taking.
I like him a lot. I'll probably still take him for unnids.
You absolutely will do at 120. He's still a bargain.
Yeah.
For the strongest data sheet in the entire book, yeah, I mean,
he's very good. He's very good. Right. The Maleceptor.
Yeah.
Actually gone down in points.
No, he's not. He's getting a big
He's gone up 50 points.
50 points.
50 points. I mean,
Good.
you know, people were like, oh, well, he lost his extra cast. Oh, and you can't use the strap for another cast on him. Guys, he's still good. He's still good. But at that many points, at least, you know, for a toughness 8, 4-up Invuln monster model that does psychic and is synapse.
And he's good in combat.
And is, good in combat, you know.
Does everything.
Fair enough. Pyrovores, also pretty notorious. You didn't see them because they're quite hard to get hold of. They're up 10 points. 40 points a model, I'll be honest, I don't think that's enough.
Could be 45.
Could probably be 45. I'd even go as far as to say 50. But yeah.
True.
No other changes. So Zoanthrope's untouched. Tyrant Guard, fine. Venomthrope's fine. Moving on, the Parasite didn't get touched, which I think is okay because you can kill it quite easily.
Yeah.
Raveners have gone up 5, a bit like Warriors. They were definitely too cheap. So they're 35 points each now. Another big change, all the Carnifex options. Carnifexes, Screamer Killers, Thornbacks, 15 points each.
Cool.
Gone up 15. Fair enough. They're very good for what they are.
Nice.
Better than a Dreadnought, cheaper than a Dreadnought. That's what they used to be. Exocrine plus 30.
Yep.
And that, the Harpy, right, the Harpy's pretty savage. So if you're taking a Harpy with heavy venom cannons, it's up 35 points.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Because that thing was
Take
ridiculous.
it away, fly off the board.
Yeah.
And then don't fly back on.
No, don't do that.
All right.
So let's have a little look at what this actually means then. Any more comments from the chat before we move on to significance of the list impact?
Just a lot of things about how good Harlequins have got now. And just a few comments here and there just about the different point changes.
Cool.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. I just quickly mentioned Tyrannocyte and the Tyrannofex have points changes as well. So the Acid Spray's up 15.
Cool.
And the Tyrannocyte's up 10.
Nice. Right, so let's have a look. What's your first list then that you've come up with?
So I had to look at Tau, obviously, because they had the biggest hits. And as you'll see, the biggest cost. So I did this list based on, what might be a pretty traditional list with 2 commanders in it.
Yeah.
Patrols, you've got your Ethereal in there. And this is with 2 units of 5 crisis suits. And I've decked them out with 2 plasma rifles and cyclic, which you see that, a shield generator as well, because you probably don't need to ignore cover on them. 1 Iridium suit in there. I've gone with a stim injector, just to, because you probably take that. And then 2 shields and 2 marker drones, just a bit of balance. You could see more drones, and you probably did, but that was just with the 4 drones, so bear that in mind. The unit was 359 points.
Sure.
It would now cost 470 points.
Wow.
Yeah.
100 point increase.
111 point increase.
Yeah.
Which of course
it's not enough.
Goes to 220 odd increase if you've got 2 units, and obviously more if you run even more suits. I've also done it on the basis of maybe having a crisis bodyguard unit in there. I do appreciate that a lot of people did have more suits than that in there. But I know that we saw a few more hammerheads jump in, that kind of thing. So I've gone for the assumption of 2 times 5 crisis suits and some bodyguard and the commanders, etc. And maybe a few drones. So a 2,000 point list with these assumptions and the points increases comes to 2,307 points.
It's like a 15% increase on that most meta-breaking list. So they're going to have to be, we might see a Riptide back now. Like all these other little options that were on the fringes of being okay might all of a sudden become a little bit more viable, which is great.
Yeah, 2 Riptides is about the same cost as a 5-man crisis unit.
Cool, love it. So that's what we want, is diversity.
That's your Tau.
Up about 15% on that meta list, yeah.
Eldar?
Sure.
This one's a bit of a lesser degree, and it depends on how many Aspect Warriors you're taking, right?
Yeah.
But this is
typically an army would have like 30 Dire Avengers, 5 Banshees, 10 Swooping Hawks, 5 Warp Spiders would be a good starting point.
So I've just gone with a few units here. Baharath, obviously, in there. We've got Farseers in there. They're 5 each, and people taking multiples of those. Dire Avengers, I've just gone with 20. You could see 30. Yeah. Banshees, I've gone with 10. They're up a point each. Yeah. Hawks, I've gone with 10 and 10 Warp Spiders. I know that you would definitely see more than that, potentially. But obviously, that's plus 20 points per unit. If you take Scatter Laser Bikes, also increasing it. If you've got 9, that's a whole plus 45 points on there. And then Wave Serpents. So at 2,000 points with this, it's probably going to be more in the region of a few extra, but I've got for 2,120 points.
Okay.
Realistically,
it's about a 5% increase on that build.
Probably 2,150 to 80.
Yeah.
With a few changes. So
now, I mean, when that codex first came out, it was a powerful codex. However, everything is still quite expensive anyway.
Yes. Yep.
And remember that a lot of the increases are on the Phoenix Lords, and you're only going to see maybe 1 there. Yeah. So hopefully it's going to maintain its good internal balance. But anyway, it's more of a Hail of Doom issue more so than anything else, I would say.
And I hope you'll see that that's a bit more of a gentle change compared to the Tau. Yeah.
Cool.
Right, the NIDs. Okay, so this is an assumption based on the 2 Hive Tyrants, the shooting one, and then the flying one. 15 Warriors, some equivalent there. You probably have some Raveners in there as well.
15 at least, yeah.
We've got Maliceptor in there. We've got 3 Carnifexes, and we've got a Harpy with the Venom Cannons, because you would always take that.
Yeah.
Right. Now, with the Raveners in as well, 2,000 probably comes and looks at 2,300.
You haven't looked at the Pyrovores either. A lot of people took
Pyrovores, yeah. So it was sort of a between you take Pyrovores or you take one of the other ones. This was more a list that I played recently that was at that level. Yeah, so about 2,300 points now.
Cool.
For a list like that.
Nice. So Tau pretty hard on one build.
Yes.
But then the rest of the Tau's kind of been fine with its breaches, the Devilfish, the Hammerheads.
Yeah.
All the big suits are still stayed the same. Whereas NIDs are up across the board.
Yeah.
Eldar feel like all the HQs and all the elites are up across the board, but everything else has kind of remained similar.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be an interesting shake-up on the meta now.
Yeah, I think Tau got hit the hardest. I think Tyranids probably have better internal balance. I think they've got lots of options they can switch to now. And Eldar, of course, I think Eldar are actually, they're fine.
Yeah.
You just have to start using other units.
Yep. I love it. Right, any questions from the chat before we wrap up? Because we need to get set for the live
I've got a little question for you.
Go on.
As you and Michael kind of like hop around and change, there's a couple different armies that you guys try out and you guys play. Has this points change changed any army that you've maybe been hesitant to play with as of recently? Like, are there any armies that now you're like, okay, I definitely want to get that back on tabletop?
I'd like to see us bring the Ultramarines back on a stream. I think with Gilliman at 300 and the Repulsors down, I think I'd like to see that on stream. Other than that, obviously I've delved into NIDs a little bit, so yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll go with those.
So 2 standouts for me that I would like to do.
Yeah.
Orcs again.
I think, I agree with that.
I think more Orcs on the table is always good, because I do like my Orcs anyway. I like my Goth build. I think that's pretty cool with all my boys. Sisters again, seeing some of those changes back to their original Codex values. I love my sister army anyway, so that's pretty cool.
I think more so than the points is the Nephilim changes in the secondaries.
Yeah.
I'd love to crack the Guard out again. I think I'll have to, because they've got some really cool stuff going on.
And you can take a Baneblade now.
Take a Baneblade now
Take
without
a Baneblade.
spending a CP.
Brilliant. Yeah. Great.
And it's cheaper.
Obviously, I'm still really passionate about taking the Blood Angels, probably even more so. Now I gain an extra 2 Sanguinary Guard on the table. What's not to like about that? Or another Assault Centurion.
6 Assault Centurions.
It'd be great, wouldn't it? No, ruined coherency and stuff. But anyway, aside from
You can see how we look at the game just from that statement.
Yeah.
You're like, 6, bigger number, more, that's better. No, ruins your coherency.
Ruins my entire game plan with that unit. With the 6-man unit of Sanguinary Guard, doesn't matter, but with the with the coherency on the on that unit in particular is massive.
Yeah, I just think it's very indicative of kind of like the Vta Academy and like what we actually look at is having that attitude to a change like that it's actually negative, having more models in a unit. Yeah. But yeah.
Nuka, any more questions?
So we've got one about missing the start. How did Dark Angels do?
Very well.
So your Terminators with the shields, like all your special units.
Your Deathwing Knights.
Down 5 points basically.
Azrael and Ezekiel down 10 as well. Yeah. But that's about it. You're safe.
Yeah. Pretty good actually. Yeah. Pretty good.
No stranglehold, no to the last though. So.
Yeah. Unlucky. Yeah.
You're
gonna have to work a little bit harder on your secondary game.
Yeah.
But your points are a little bit cheaper. So you win some, you lose some. But no, Carl, I actually really liked your question. It was a great question you asked. Yeah, really good. Any more?
They're all mostly just general about how, specific faction points have gone up and how it affects them and their lists. Specifically, Kyle said that the Tau list did sound a bit like his. Don't know if you've been copying Kyle's list there, Michael.
Well, I mean, when you've got someone that just talks about Tau the entire time, it's been probably hard for Michael not to be influenced by Kyle because he's such a
yeah.
strong Tau influence.
We've chatted about his list anyway as well.
Yeah.
So
he's like he is Tau.
He is basically he's Ornva but with a beard.
Yeah.
There is one quickly about the Vta Community Access, which you get via going through the Vanguard Tactics Academy, which you can now sign up for, link in the description below. But as for the Vta Community Access, you will get access to the past YouTube members' content. Yes.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Because we've now created an entire vault for all of our members' content and all of our recorded lessons. Me, Michael, and the rest of the team do that are live. That goes into our vault if you become a member. So if you're either on a silver, gold, or platinum package on this new intake that starts on the 4th of July, then you're going to get access to that as well. The bronze course is just the academy, but without the community support and without those live lessons. So if you just want to study in your own time, take it at your own leisure, the bronze package is perfect for you. We've got 2 weeks, I think, until literally the course starts for the next academy intake. We'd love to see many of you there that really want to take your game to that next level. We've got a fantastic community, and if you want to find out any more details about that, you can head over to www.vanguardtactics.com. And I will be running a live Zoom call on Thursday evening. So if you would like to jump on that, more details will be coming out soon, and I'm going to be going over any questions you might have about joining the academy, so we can sit and chat on a Zoom call. And that's going to be open for anybody that's interested in signing up for the academy, because we always want to make sure it's right for you. So yeah, we'd love to see many of you on the academy intake, this one coming up. Yeah. Any more? Was that it?
Cool. That's mostly it. I mean, we could run through them all, but we do have a stream to get ready for, so. And
we are cutting it fine. So, Games Workshop, thank you so much for this digital copy of points. Everybody be happy they listened to you and they did it. You've got a fantastic new mission book here that we're going to be running tonight. All the secondaries are updated. If you want to hear mine and also Michael's thoughts on that, do become a member and you'll get that member content tomorrow. Seb is editing it at the moment. So
Friday.
Got lost days. Friday. You get that Friday, $2.99, become a member and you can check that out. Or if you're an academy student, you get that as well. So until our stream later on, thank you so much for joining us. See you at 7 o'clock tonight. You can see Michael play the Rhino. And yeah, me, Jake, and Nicole on deck. It's going to be carnage. Take care. See you soon. And goodbye.